everybody, and welcome to Moment of Presence. I am Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching, and I am glad that you are here today. We're actually going to give a few more seconds. I know that everyone's getting notified to jump on, so we're going to kind of hang out for a few minutes. If you're here, make sure that you comment and make sure that you add your name, because sometimes it's a little wonky. Sometimes I see your name, sometimes I don't, but let me know that you're here. Also, today's topic, are you in your heart or are you in your head? Where is it that you're working from, that you're functioning from during your day? And what does that mean? And so if you know somebody that comes home every day and isn't in the best mood, you might want to share this video for them, because we're going to be talking about some of the, let's say, side effects of not being in the right place at the right time, so to speak. So we're gonna dive in just a few minutes and talk about what that means exactly. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you have not done so already, so that way you are always getting notified of new videos. And I hope you all enjoyed last week's video. That was quite interesting and fun. I know there was a lot of chaos going on, and I got a lot of responses that it was actually fun to watch that. So between the chickens and the parrots and everybody was just doing their own thing. So it's always a good time here. All right. So what we're talking about today is really getting in touch with your body and understanding what your body is trying to tell you when you're doing certain things. So if you are at work and you are absolutely exhausted at the end of the day mentally, and it's not an overly mental job that you do, right? I mean, if it's a analytic type of job, then that's one thing, but we're gonna talk about that too. But what does it mean when your body's trying to tell you that you're exhausted, and how to pay attention to those warning signs, and what may or may not happen if you don't pay attention and you continue to just do the same thing and kind of just get through it. I'm going to get through it and stay on this hamster wheel. So my goal today is to share insight from my journey, lessons that I've learned, and inspire even a slight adjustment to your perspective, even one slight change to something that you do during your day that might change this for you. And big warning here, it may create a positive change in your life. So fair warning, I'm just putting that out there. This isn't necessarily rocket science. This is about really understanding who we are and how we function, or how we should be functioning, I should say. So yeah. Hi, Krista. Yes, fun topic. So let us bring ourselves into being. So we're going to take our deep breaths together, as we always do. We're going to, take in a big deep breath, and then we're going to hold it for 5. And then I just want you to exhale. So put your phones on, do not disturb, and let's come into the moment and be here. There's nothing you have to do for the next 15 minutes. All right. So big deep breath in and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Big deep breath in. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And one more time, and I want you to just really feel into your heart. Even put your hands on your heart, and just big deep breath in here. Hold it. And then big exhale. So keep your hands on your heart for a second. And I want you to take a quiz with me. And you don't have to write anything down. Just kind of keep track. We're only going to be doing A and B. That's all I want you to focus on. So I'm going to ask a question, and I want you to tell me which one, or you don't have to tell me, but keep track of which one is you. So at the end of your average day, whether it's a work day, your weekend, whatever it is, at the end of the day, are you feeling A, mentally exhausted, or B, mentally energized? So just take a note, whether it's A or B. A, you cannot wait to share your day and talk about what happened. Or B, just want to be alone. Just want to be alone. Maybe just go to bed. Big deep breath. Another exhale. A, at the end of your day, maybe even during your day, are you distracting yourself with anything else? Anything other than what you're supposed to be doing? Or B, are you checking off your to-do list, maybe while singing or dancing, having fun? So, how many A's? And if you want to share, please share in the comments. How many A's? How many B's? What was your majority? Where are you functioning from? The A's or the B's? And there's no right or wrong. We're being aware. We're being aware of how we're feeling. And that's what I really want to talk about, is really tuning in to who you are in every moment. So it's just interesting that this topic is coming up today. You know, I plan these way ahead of time. Thank you to my Chief Operations Officer. We plan these way ahead of time. And interestingly, this came up today because yesterday, I have to say, I didn't know if I could do 5 more minutes of whatever I was doing. I haven't felt that exhausted and drained in a very long time. And so I had to take the evening and I had to reflect. What is it that I was doing that drained me? And not to reflect on blaming or shaming or overthinking and overanalyzing, but looking at it and going, okay, how did I wake up? Okay, I meditated. Good. How did I feel after that? When I went through the first couple hours of my day, how did I feel? How did I feel by lunch? And then how did I feel during the midday and then the evening? And it gave me some insight as to what it was I was doing and when I started to feel tired. Now, some may call this heaviness, right? It doesn't have to be physically feeling tired like you want to sleep. Maybe it's this heaviness and you're just tired of walking around, right? Your shoulders are up and you're stressed and you're tensed and you just can't relax. When we tune into our body and we really find out from our body what it's trying to tell us, then we can make better decisions for ourselves and we can stay more aligned and in tune with where we're supposed to be in life. Are we walking a path, or are we just, kind of willy-nilly just showing up to life? Not that we should have every moment planned out, right? Because you want to flow. You want to be, you can't plan out every moment. We got chaos. We got change. Things are coming at us from every direction. We have to learn how to have our head on a swivel. And if you've never heard that term, it's a favorite of the Barone house. You got to have your head on a swivel. You got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to change and change it up and do the things that you need to do. But what are you bringing into that? And how are you looking at it? And so when bills, right? And I know we use this all the time. If you're still writing your bills and at the end of it, you're feeling drained, then you're looking at the paying of your bills the wrong way. Go do something fun first. Go spend some money, do something fun, and then sit down and be grateful that you have more money to pay your bills. If it's your workday and you're feeling dread, is it the actual work that you're doing that you're dreading on a Saturday night or a Sunday? Or is it the perspective that you have? Because let us not forget, we all have choices. And wherever you are right now, no blaming, no shaming, it all came from a string of choices that were made. Where are you making those choices from? And this is where we can get curious with ourselves. Because we want to bring ourselves back into alignment so that we can be on the right path. And if we're off our path, our body is going to warn us. And it's going to send out signs and signals. And our inner voices are going to start screaming. Our inner child is going to have a temper tantrum. Oh, there are so many ways that our body tells us when we're off. And if you continue to ignore the signs and the warnings, it gets louder and louder and more intense. And then what happens is the universe, life, will force you to make a change. So whether it's your health gets bad, a lot of people, heaven forbid, when they're not moving forward and they should be, or they start to move forward but they don't know the direction, you'll notice that there can be a small car accident, or they break their foot. Something like that will happen. And so we have to pay attention, and we have to get curious. So when we get curious, we can start thinking of, when you're in your day and you're not feeling right, you're not feeling happy, you're not feeling inspired. What are you doing in that moment? And not every day and every moment is going to be perfect. Those that like to be super creative and do that for a living, sometimes you got to do the business side of that, right? But on the other side, if you're very analytical, or you're, in IT and you're doing something very tech, are you feeling good or are you feeling stressed? If you're feeling stressed, why? What's happening? Are you avoiding something? Are you distracting yourself from something? And if so, dive deeper. Take that moment to sit with it and go, what's really happening? What's really going on? Is it because of, again, who you're doing it for? Is it the boss? Is it the coworkers? Or is it you're not aligned with the process? Krista says, the first question I always ask someone is this, I am so grateful we discussed this. Yes, of course. And once you learn it, you can't unlearn this. And you'll start getting curious because you're going to start noticing things. And you'll start noticing that before you say yes to something, you actually start checking in with yourself first before you agree. And that's really the goal. So some other questions, right? If you're getting headaches during your day, where are they in your head? Are they in the front? Is it a tension headache, sinus headache? What is it? And what is it you're in the middle of doing when you got that headache? And are you overthinking? Are you overthinking and overanalyzing a decision? And then you can ask yourself why. And if you really want the answer, because we all have the answers within, we just have to understand how to communicate with ourselves. Put your hands on your heart and ask the question, why am I overthinking this? And then just be still. Just be quiet. Close your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths and let the answer come. It may not be right in that moment, but you're going to get your answer. What am I afraid of? If I don't overthink this, if you walk on eggshells all day around a person, why? What's going to happen? What's the worst case scenario? And is that coming from a place of fear? Are you having anxiety over it? Because that's projecting the fear into the future. You don't really know what's going to happen. People change, things change, circumstances are changing every day. Don't bring the past into the future and create this whole scenario that may not happen at all. If you want to isolate yourself, why? Get curious again. Why? What are you afraid of sharing, and why are you afraid of sharing it? Are you in fear of being judged? Are you judging yourself? Are you assuming that other people are going to think one way about you? And here's the big secret. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you. It only matters what you think about you. That's it. So how do you think about yourself? Are you doing what you love? You know that old saying, it's never a day of work if you're doing what you love. And that's so true. So sit, ask, be in that moment and allow the answers to come up, because the guidance will always come. If you're in tune with yourself and you know what to listen for, because everybody's different. My warning lights, right? My warning signals are going to be different than someone else's. Yesterday, my eyes were burning. I mean, burning. Now, granted, I had contacts in and I probably should have taken them out. But why? Was I trying to see something so hard that wasn't there? Or was I trying to not see something? And so really sitting and just being and allow the answers to come up. Pay attention to what are you doing when you feel bad. Write it down. I have a journal that I keep that I'll write, and I did it with meditation too. I wrote down what meditation I did every single day and tracked how I was progressing in work and in life. And I noticed that when I was more consistent with one kind of meditation, I was doing better. Well, you can do the same thing in the opposite. If you're not feeling good, what are you doing? And so if you have, let's say, 10 days, a whole month of data to look at, not to overanalyze, but to look at and go, wow, the days that I have to do this, I always end up with a headache. Now you can look at that and go, is that something I can delegate? Do I really have to do that? What can I do ahead of time to be proactive so that I'm in a better space when I do have to sit down and do it? We all have to do things that we don't love, but we have to do more of what we do love, so that way when we have to do those things that aren't our favorite, it doesn't affect us as much. So ask yourself, in 1 year, if there is no change, 6 months from now, no change, and you continue on the way that you're living right now, feeling exhausted at the end of your day, not happy doing what you're doing, whatever that is. It can be a relationship, it can be work, it can be a hobby, it can be whatever. But if 1 year nothing changes, what is going to be the worst part about that? And think to yourself, if something does change and you're feeling better and you're doing what you love, what will life look like 1 year from now? So today is September 13th. And yes, you may see this as a recording months from now. However, today is September 13th. It is the new moon. And it is a perfect time to cleanse and release. It's a perfect time to go within and really understand how you're feeling about life right now. And when you feel your worst, write that down. What are you doing in those moments? And can you change anything about that so that you feel better? Write it all out. And if there are certain things that you can release, certain things that you don't have to participate in, then make those better choices and write down your intentions. It's the new moon. It's the perfect time for it. So write out your intentions. Write out what you want your life to look like a month from now. Don't go a whole year. Go a month. Go 2 months. Now, why do I do what I do? Because people need accountability. Because we can talk about this all day long, and you may have heard this 1,000 times before, but if you're not taking action, get curious again. Why? We need accountability. And there are times that we need to ask for help, and we need a guiding hand. And that doesn't mean family and friends. They've got their own stuff going on, or they may not understand what you're going through. And, oh, everybody feels that way. No, everyone doesn't have to feel that way. You don't have to settle and struggle. You can have the life you want. But it does take a little bit of work on yourself, because it all starts from within. So if you're ready for change, you're ready to stop this insanity, and you want a better life, then book the call already. Go over to mokshagrace.com, check out the website. It's all new and sparkly. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. But get the coaching, get the accountability that you need to make the changes in your life. Because nobody is going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, and you have to be ready. All right. So I look forward to speaking with you. Book your call. It's just a chat. And we'll see if we can make a plan together. And if it's not the right fit, I'll guide you to the resources that you need. Because that's what I'm here for, is to be a guide. So remember, today can be the best day. It can be the worst day. It's all up to you. It's your choice. Choose wisely. And I will see you next week.